Welcome back, Fantasy Moto fans, to the PulpMX Fantasy Show. I'm Donnie from RotoMoto, and in this video I have 5 riders I want you to look at when making your picks for Daytona 2022, tips for the FFL, the weather report, race day schedule, and an early look at what my team could be come Saturday night. And stick around till the end to find out how you could win an autographed jersey just like this Team Solitaire jersey fresh off the back of Robbie Wageman. Going into the weekend, we have a few additions, big additions, to the ins and outs list. Biggest news that you may not have heard yet is Star Racing Yamaha's Jeremy Martin out for Daytona after hurting his shoulder in a practice crash on Wednesday. Levi Kitchen will also sit out the weekend to recover from his Arlington crash, meaning Star's 6-man roster is down to just Christian Craig without a DNF or a DNQ 9 weeks into the season. As reported, Austin Forkner has confirmed that his collarbone is broken and he will miss considerable time at best in the entire 2022 season at worst. The only in on the board is Rockstar Husqvarna's RJ Hampshire, who missed the 3rd race at the Triple Crown after his 2nd race crash, but it appears he has been cleared to race and will line up this weekend. Max Volan, Preston Kilroy, and Cody Schock are all nursing injuries coming into this weekend, but have not yet announced their eligibility for Daytona, so I would leave them off in any early team you are setting. On the 450 side, we lose HEP Suzuki's Adam Enticknap, who is dealing with a fractured vertebrae and will miss considerable time recovering, but PulpMX's Garrett Marchbanks will make his 450 debut this weekend, stepping up to the big class at the track that he secured his sole race win, taking the checkers here in 2020. We are still awaiting the 2022 debut of Benny Bloss and Justin Hill, but have yet to hear any plans for their return from injury. After a crash, RJ Hampshire did lose All-Star status, and he will be eligible for double points this weekend. Phoenix Honda's Jordan Smith stepped up into the All-Star spot with his 5th overall. In the big class, Dylan Ferrandis passes Ken Roczen to break into the top 8, swapping spots and making Ken a very spicy double eligible pick in Daytona. Speaking of picks, I have 3 guys to target, 1 to avoid, and a high handicap guy for you gamblers out there. But before I give them to you, it is time to address your place in the standings. Daytona is the halfway point of the season. What place are you in right now, and what are you trying to win? Whether it's a champ league or a personal league, now is the time to decide if you should be pushing the envelope or playing it safe, or abandoning the season altogether and going for weak wins. Ton of injuries this weekend, combined with the usual surprises Daytona brings, is likely to have huge hits and season-ruining misses, so make sure you have a strategy going into the weekend. 250 All-Star has only 6 options, and I like Styles Robertson this week. The second-year Rockstar Husky rider has shown very impressive starts this season, and is the only All-Star to finish within his current handicap in 3 out of 4 races. Don't forget that Styles also hole shot last season in Daytona and led the first 8 laps before finally being passed by veteran Cameron McAdoo, ultimately finishing 2nd in his one and only start at Daytona. With only 6 All-Stars, that leaves a lot of value with the low handicaps this week, and I'm looking at Kyle Peters. You might not think of the Arena Cross champion when looking to pick a team for a track that is more similar to an outdoor, but KP has done nothing but stack top 10s at the International Speedway. And the last decade, the Phoenix Honda rider has raced Daytona 5 times, finishing in the top 11 in every one of them with a best of 6th in 2018. On to the 450 side, I'm looking at a high All-Star here with Dylan Ferrandis. Normally, I look away from the guys that are just on the cusp of becoming double eligible, but in this instance, it's hard to pick against the defending Pro Motocross champion at the track that is most similar to an outdoor layout. Ferrandis has been in the top 10 in 6 of the last 7 rounds, and in the top 7 in 5 of those. A 450 rider I do not want you to look at for this weekend was hard because the handicaps are getting tight. Only a single non-All-Star under 10 handicap saw theirs go up, leading to a low-scoring weekend projected for the class. So, you want to avoid low-ceiling, low-floor guys like Justin Brayton. He will probably have a higher pick trend than usual this weekend because of his Cinderella race win here a few years ago, but JB doesn't have the upside this year. Triple Crowns aside, the oldest man on the track has finished no higher than 10th, meaning his ceiling is only 28, maybe 30 points. Couple that with the 3 races this year that he finished outside of the top 11, he also has a really high chance to miss double on this tight weekend. The high handicap hero of the round given to a rider with a handicap of 10 or more that I think has a realistic chance to score massive points this weekend if you're the type of person that likes to sweat out a little LCQ for a big payout. Cheating a little bit here on this one, as it is a 9 handicap instead of a 10 this week, but let's talk about Jarrett Fry. The Star Racing cast-off very nearly missed the top 40 in the season opener before coming back to win the LCQ and another LCQ last weekend to get into the Triple Crown. Despite twice as much competitions outdoors than in, Fry has had more success outdoors than in. It's apparent he prefers this type of racing because in his only Supercross season under his belt, he took 12th at Daytona, a solid 4 places better than that season's average. Moving on to the FFL, Styles Robertson became the first to get 2, and our round 1 FFL Austin Forkner is missing in action in the 250s. Jet Lawrence threw away 2 easy ones in Minneapolis, so I think he has to be the favorite here, but Daytona has historically had strange FFLs, especially in the 250 class, so pick this weekend with caution. The 450 side is messy. In 12 gate drops, we have 7 different riders lead the first lap, led by Eli Tomac with 3, all coming from Triple Crown rounds. But Jason Anderson has the best average start of the class, a whole 1.5 positions better than the second place Chase Sexton. Daytona weather looks very Daytona this weekend. Sunny and 70 during practice and qualifying, and mid-60s after the sun goes down and the gates drop on the International Speedway. East Coast means early. Race Day Live will kick off on the Peacock app at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. RotoMoto Patreon supporters are the first to receive the cheat sheets as I post them to our private Discord as soon as each class wraps up, and then to the Patreon at wide around 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. The standard cheat sheets may be a little closer to gate drops this week as the race day is shortened by 30 minutes, meaning I have less time to prepare them to go, so look for them about an hour before gate drop. We'll call that 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Then the picks lock, the gates drop at 7:30 Eastern on the CNBC channel in the Peacock app. After the race, feel free to join me over on my own YouTube channel for the RotoMoto post-race program immediately following the 450 podium ceremony, where I talk directly with you and other Supercross fans live on camera about the racing, the drama, the fallout, and of course the fantasy results as they become available. Before I show you my early team for Glendale, I want to talk to you about Maxxis Tire coming on for all 17 rounds so I can deliver these videos for you. You know Maxxis Tire. You know their MXST tire designed by the king of Supercross and my all-time favorite rider, Jeremy McGrath. It is the newest and most advanced tire in the Maxxis MX lineup, featuring an all-new tread pattern, compound, and composition to provide the stability, predictability, and traction that the upper tiers of motocross demand. The entire SGB Honda team run Maxxis on their race bikes, including PulpMX show favorites and on-again, off-again rivals Alex Ray and Cade Clayson. Available at your local retailer and also at motosport.com. My Thursday team looks like this. I'm going 8 in the main first and points second here. Give me Styles Robertson as my all-star. Filthy Phil Nicoletti at a 1 handicap in his first Daytona in 6 years. RJ Hampshire at a -1 clear of concussion protocols. And Mitchell Oldenburg banking on a top 5 with a -2. 450 side, I have 2021 motocross champion Dylan Ferrandis as my all-star. Sugar Shane McElrath at a 4 handicap. Vince Freezy also with a 4. And rounding it out with Troll Train Alex Martin with a 7. If you want a chance to win something like this autographed Team Solitaire Robbie Wageman jersey, consider joining the RotoMoto Patreon. For just about $1 per week, you support me immensely and help make it possible for me to make more content like this, but you're also entered to win race used and autographed memorabilia from your favorite riders and fantasy darlings every month. And not just one, insiders and above are getting their own drawing for a jersey. That's right, 2 jerseys this month, as well as an exclusive podcast talking fantasy stats on every rider in the field, as well as the enhanced cheat sheets that come out every Saturday. Link for that will be in the description below. And don't forget to follow PulpMX Fantasy and RotoXMoto on both Instagram and Twitter for injury updates as the weekend rolls on, qualifying info and stats and banter throughout the race itself, and those fantasy cheat sheets once qualifying is done and wrapped. Thank you for watching the PulpMX Fantasy Show presented by Maxxis Tire. My name is Donnie. May your chiz this weekend. Remember that 8 is great, and most importantly, have fun. Good luck, y'all.